You kind of carry that pressure simply because you have the same last name as
Yes.
me and you're my wife.
Yeah, it's not easy. People look at me through you like we both are super competitive.
That's both of our personalities, that's for sure.
It's good and it's bad. You think you reach certain level and you think you know everything. And then I felt like, okay, I'm dealing with a 2 times world champion.
But still your husband.
Right.
All right, guys, welcome to TWC podcast number 64, which it's going to be an interesting one, I promise you. My guest today is my wife, Natalia Balabanov. Welcome to the podcast. You ready?
Whew. Yeah, I guess so.
We've been
I
trying-
cannot be more ready than it is right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Been trying to make this one for a while. So, Cooper, in case we get into some confrontation here, which is very likely, keep rolling.
Yes.
All right. Seriously, this will be interesting actually for me as well.
Really? Okay.
We met through dogs. That's clearly how we met. It was in opera or in some supermarket.
No.
We were training dogs already before we ever met. Eventually, you approached me. You got a dog from me after. It was like 2007. I won the world championship. Then you wanted a puppy, but you did have a showline German Shepherd at the time. You did start with a Cane Corso. You were into this way before we met, because the first time or the first few times I had conversation with you, what was interesting for me was that you knew who was at the time the biggest people in the sport of IGP, because you were somehow finding way and making the effort to go and train with the best of the best, really. So,
Yeah.
But after that, eventually, to kind of make that story shorter, we did meet. You did get a dog from me. When you met me in person, how was it different of what you thought what were your expectations, and who was I when you met me?
So as far as the what I would expect as the training level, I definitely seen live and seen from the videos. Yeah, this was the same level of good training and being professional, good approach with people and dogs and patience. So that was really what I saw first from the videos, and then we met in Germany.
And when you talk about the videos, you're talking about the
training without
dog.
conflict, yes.
What was interesting, tell us about the pirate stories of the videos, right?
Well, it was
Which is classic for East European
I
countries.
didn't know it's a classic, but apparently it was. Yes. So, a friend of mine that I train with, he brought this DVD, like there was no cover, no nothing, and
Pirate copies.
pirate copy
Underground.
of Ivan Balabanov
Oh,
training
everybody
without
had them,
conflict.
right?
But at the time, I didn't even think that there is a. It's like, yeah, I'm getting some.
That's
like,
what they did with the book too.
video. Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
That I didn't know.
They were like, eventually I saw it in translated in Russian. I'm like, okay.
No, that I didn't even know. Yeah, but it was such a normal thing that I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it, and yeah, it got me in. So that was from the videos to, as far as the training and all this exactly. When we met, I saw the same level, and it's like, yeah, like you met the expectation.
The box were checked.
Yes. The other part that was actually like very cool, like you were just a cool person, like very funny, approachable. Yes, like, yeah, cool person to hang out with.
One of the things probably, and I'm sure that's going to be interesting for many people, but some of the listeners for sure can really relate and are very curious. And this is how does it work to be so competitive and sometimes to be the student, sometimes to be the competitor, and still remain partners, husband and a wife, and do this over and over, back to back again? What is the easy and the difficult parts? This is what probably people would be curious to know.
Well, first of all, it took us a while to be able to separate what's going on the field, and then like 5 minutes later we're at home, and to forget about all what happened on the field and just have a normal life. So that took us a while to master this.
It took a while for sure.
Oh, it took a while. Yeah,
What it means a while is we will go out and we will have a training session, and for whatever reason we will be, I said so, no you didn't, no whatever. We would find what to disagree on. Anybody that works together with their partner, spouse, etc., knows exactly what we're talking about. And those situations, to be able to learn how to be, it took us some time. To where we just had a training session this morning, as most mornings.
You think you reach certain level and you think you know everything, or at least like you can be equal at certain, points, and and then I like felt like, okay, like I'm dealing with a two times world champion, and I'm like,
but still your husband.
Right. So,
well, back in a different time of my life, I was a ski instructor and I was a surf instructor, and this was just my younger years. That was kind of my life. Summertime, I'm on the Black Sea. Wintertime, I'm in the mountains. Well, we tried to learn how to ski, and she wasn't into it at all. She was like, I've tried it, it's not fun, it's whatever. Somehow I convinced her eventually. So, well, guess who is the instructor? And I'm teaching her, and I'm kind of in front of her doing, the pizza moves, if you know skiing shit. And she's doing pretty good, actually, like really, really good. However, anytime I tell her that she's wrong or there is something more to do, she just flips out and gets like, ooh. And then there was a moment when I'm like, baby, like if can you just think of me as the instructor right now, not your husband? Like I am just, or we hire another instructor. So
Yeah.
this was a very interesting one, right?
Yeah.
And then
At the time, I couldn't think this way. Like back then, I just couldn't separate those two things. So like, hey, you're trying to teach me something.
no, it's normal. I mean, I think this is kind of the
I
fun
it's
part.
crazy.
I mean,
I don't know. It's
we end
the
up
fun part. Okay.
always kind of getting hot about it, and eventually at the end find a way to laugh about it because it is funny.
But also the level of, like, we both are super competitive, and
Right.
that's,
Right. That's both of our personalities, that's for sure.
it's good and it's bad, you know. I mean,
But I'm not done with the story because I learned my lesson. So we did okay with the ski. I mean, she's now hooked. We are definitely already having plans to go where we're going on vacation skiing and everything. She like, I'm super happy that we are. This is one of the best things. Now we go to the summertime fun. Well, when I'm talking surfing, I was a windsurf, you know, not the actual surfing like in Brazil or Hawaii or whatever. But then I made a better choice. Instead of going through that struggle and frustration
Very
and
smart.
fighting, guess what I did? I hired an instructor. So she can be falling down and getting up and falling down and getting up.
and not yelling at
and not-
anybody.
right. She was a true student. And I was sitting having my drink and watching, and I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
we are almost ready to go together now. But
No, true.
But with dog training, I mean, it's not easy, you know? And at least we have found a way, just as I was saying today, this morning, we were training, you, me, Taylor, Melody, and there is always something that, like in training, I mean, there is always some kind of miscommunication. It doesn't matter that we have trained for, I don't even know now how many years together, and you would think everything should be ironed out and we should be, there is always this little, and it could be also because I am thinking, well, we've been training for so long, that's a given, we should. And so these little things, and then we get into this.
Right. But
Show me.
right now it's actually.
Let me see it.
Yes.
Right?
No.
And but now we're having fun with
Yes,
it. Like
yes.
we're
Now-
truly
now
having
we're
fun with
having
it.
fun,
And we're
but-
taking notes at the same time of what we need to change.
Yeah.
But if we need to go or whatever, and then laugh about it and then go back.
Well, I think I also got to the point that I really realized that I got so humbled, and because my thinking was like, not my thinking was like, I'm like trying to like understand my whole journey from, like how I started and the whole thing, it's just that,
You should
If I
mention
would
a little
come-
bit because I mean you spent so much time just going to
Yeah,
what
yeah.
what was it, the camp training,
I will tell in a second, but just, and it's not that I could say I was lucky. I wasn't lucky. I was just knew that what I want to do, like anything I would touch in my life, like it's either you go for it or you don't do it. There was no halfway doing things. Like, and the moment I like got into dogs and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is super cool. I want to do it. And it's like fulfilling me. I love dogs. It's just like
and it
you know,
became
both
number one
ways.
priority. Just
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like anything I would do in my life, it's either I do it or I don't do it. Like there's no in the middle, like half ass. Like I just don't know this word. So it's either all in or you just don't. So I went all in, and I don't know how. And from the beginning, I had this. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go world champion. Like this was, and I really meant it. I wasn't just saying it. And somehow, from the beginning, I was around people that already been to world championships, did quite well. So I had this chance to be around really good trainers, and somehow I also knew instinctively what is the bad training or what is the training that it just doesn't make sense to me. So I would go.
So you would kind of question knowing you and your personality, even though when you started, and this is my guess, but even if it was, let's say, I mean, you've trained with Edgar and so many others, but even if they suggest something, you would always be like, well, but why are we doing this? Because it doesn't quite make sense, right?
It always had to make sense to me on a level of deep communication with the dog. Is my dog understanding really what I'm trying to tell him or her? Are we speaking the same language? And that's something that just was very natural to me to begin with. So yeah, I mean, I've since I got hooked, there was no weekend that every weekend I would be somewhere in a different country in Europe training dogs. I would spend weeks.
And we're not talking a weekend. We're talking a week-long camp, training camps. You know?
Yes, I would go. Yeah, I spend weeks.
Which was a lot of fun, right?
Right. I mean, in Czech Republic, Austria. I mean, just any countries you can think of in Europe. Like I would be going and watching.
So
training.
let me, like you know what I'm thinking about somehow because of that is like when you are training and you're preparing a dog, any of your dogs, what goes through your mind during this preparation stages? Like how do you see the whole picture of, okay, I'm training this today and tomorrow I'm gonna do this, but this is where I wanna get? Like what happens in your mind?
You mean like let's say right now?
Sure, like I mean any, like you can think of, well, with Glinda, which we're gonna definitely talk about, but then you have a very young dog that you're training, Mondioring. So what I'm curious to hear is how do you see the day-to-day training and the preparation and that dream that you're chasing, and how does that, like, what happens every day?
So always starving for perfection, which is a wrong. For perfection in my world.
Perfection.
Yes, in my world, how I perceive certain exercises. If
do
it's just.
Do you think you're the kind of trainer that is more of the let's go, let's get it done, or taking more time, or how?
No, definitely.
What's the pace?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Definitely, it's not. Let's go and get it done. It's never that way, because there could be training that we just gonna do couple exercises, but I think I always have in mind to make sure that I touch every exercise, that it's not forgotten, that it's touched. And when so let's say, just like, okay, I'm gonna do the dumbbells, yeah, and I'm gonna work on the dumbbells. Sometimes it can be just the flat dumbbell, and I'm just gonna focus on this, or go through all of it. But then I gotta make sure that I touch all the pieces of the routine. That's how I keep it in mind, that I feel that I worked on them. I put the same amount of time to each exercise, each part. It's not even exercise, it's each part of the routine.
The chain of the behaviors.
The chain of the behaviors, the exercise, all the leadings. Like, I feel that I worked on this throughout the leading up to the competition. Then I worked on this, and I'm satisfied and peaceful that it's done. Like, it's done, and it's done in a way that I know when I put it together on the competition, it's gonna work out. It's gonna be nice and smooth, and I am not gonna have surprises.
And I kind of, so how about, do you, like, let's say tomorrow, it's just another training day, as it always is, right? We don't know when it's Sunday, we don't know when it's national holiday. For us, somebody has to tell us.
One more thing I just thought of. Unless there is something that me personally does not feel, like, you can tell me it looks good. And like I've said that many times, but I don't feel it's good. It does not feel good to me.
You don't have the confidence in it.
Yes, and you can tell me from the outside it was beautiful and it was nice, but I know that I don't have that 100% confidence. And I always say the word feel. Like, I have to feel the harmony in like, I have to feel, I'm just missing the word right now. It's the
you don't have the confidence to trust that this is a solid behavior, probably, or what? That you're gambling a little bit, and it's not like almost guaranteed that you're gonna have it.
Like I guess I have still internal struggle. Let's say how much time we spend on the healing, and it just had to come, like, there was just so many pieces that I had to work on. The best, like, how many things is going through my head, how many things I have to watch for, and how long it took me to just go and do it. And it felt like now I can just do it. It was like my internal struggle and learning, and there was a lot of new pieces that it just had to come together. While right now I didn't enjoy it. I mean, it's just when you're like,
well, yes, and then to kind of bring the listeners to the point here, the way we heal, the way we teach healing, it's it's actually radically different than the vast majority of dog trainers. And it's not about being good or bad, it's just what we are trying to show in healing. And to us, free healing starts with walking naturally. And naturally means you don't put that hand out there and keep the dog in a pocket in a safe place, but actually bring the hands and move the hands in a normal way. Allow the dog not to velcro themselves and feel safe, but really, so all these little details that are so little, but they start to get more and more appreciated, which we like. They are not easy to accomplish. Like you can very quickly with some food luring and or some certain targeting, magnetic balls, you name it, you can get to the level of so-called competition healing that everybody would have. And but if you look at the healing that, like, let's say you did this year at all competitions, it's a very different look. And I know that some people can recognize it, but some people do, and some people recognize it kind of subconsciously. But what you're talking about is these elements of different pieces of the training that to some are not a big deal, to some are very minor changes, and they are definitely the type of trainers that do see it and do appreciate it. However, they understand what it takes, and it's not easy to accomplish. So that's definitely a thing.
But the thing, that's what's actually drawn me to your training from the beginning, because as I said, like before I actually got your videos, I've seen all the big trainers. I mean, they're still big trainers. They're still the world champions, all of them. And I watched the training I was going and watching, and there was just always something missing. Like there was always something that...
It's kind of like, where can we do a little bit more and a little bit different? And instead of trying to trick the dog into doing something without understanding what they do, really give them a good, meaningful, okay, this is what I do and this is why I'm doing it, and there is that connection.
And I've tried it all. I've tried all these methods. Then, of course, you go to a seminar, you get excited, you know, like all that bass and whatever, and I do a little bit, and then I'm like sitting in my backyard with the dog, and I'm like, okay, this is just like something is wrong here. Like I just don't...
It looks a little fake,
right,
to us.
Right. And
but let's, I don't want to, like, that's kind of where I was going with is, like, let's say when we're talking about your training and what's in your head and how you go about it, going back to this, is it, how do you analyze and when do you make a plan? Like, you know me, like I get out and I train, and I think that's where we're different. You put quite a bit of thinking after training and in the evening, and you, I don't know if you create a plan for the next time, but you kind of analyze way more than I do for the next time you're gonna train. Tell us about this more. I guess what will be easier is, like, let's say you knew that we're gonna do obedience today with Glinda.
what was my plan?
But it wasn't, well, what I'm interested and what I kind of want everybody to kind of get a feel of is, when was exactly that you decided what you're gonna be doing? Like, how does that happen? And maybe today was a little bit different, but for the most part, maybe today was a little more spontaneous, but I don't think you are as spontaneous as I am.
I always have in mind what I'm gonna do for sure. It was just because, I mean, I haven't done, like, after the World Championships, I haven't really done much with her as far as obedience. I think I do maybe 2 sessions, and I we've done some dumbbells and recalls and I think sendaways. So of course, so for me, it's natural right now. I have to work on the healing. I have to work on the bow turns. I have to, you know, and for this, like, I need you to be around. So that's a good time for me to like, okay, that's what we're gonna do today.
But besides today, like let's take a month before the last World Championship you were in, and you're about to go out and train. How does your mind, like, when do you create? Because I know that this is really where we differ. Like, it comes very, like, and maybe I do have a plan ultimately. Maybe something goes on in my head in the background, but I don't feel that, like, I know that there are times that you just sit down and you analyze and you're making plans, even though we're watching a movie or whatever, but you're really getting ready for tomorrow for training. That's clear to me.
Okay. The one thing that comes into my mind is I know which exercises I have very solid. And again, I still need to touch up on them, so you know it's there. And there are exercises that require more work. This is not even work for the dog, it's work for me. And I think I'm trying to always get the best, besides the exercises, but the feeling, from my dog, you know, like the emotions, the right emotions.
Is it the battle of having the structure and the reliability and the emotions, and when to really break free and go crazy, or when to keep going on with the routines? Is that kind of where it's going, or it's different?
Man, I have to think on this one a little bit.
Like, I can help you, like, I know, like, one of, again,
help me out,
some of the
because
differences between us. Like, you will go to a trial, or you will go to a training session, and then you will watch it. Like, you would watch it if I filmed it on the phone, or if it was a trial, and you would watch it, and you would watch it. And if we have a counter, you probably are you're making your own video viral on your phone,
if we go
right?
from this, I've always been watching my performances on the competition. I mean, I could watch it and watch it and watch it
and watch it
and watch it. I mean, we're talking, I will break down
deep analyzation. I mean, no question about it.
I will break down my whole obedience, all protection, from the moment I walk on the field, greet the judge, go to the starting point, and I watch every step of my routine.
And what goes into your head? Like, what are the what are you taking as far as what are the takeaways? Are you immediately saying, okay, this is what I need to really work on, or how does it go?
I see the things that I gotta work on, I can make better, and I know I can make better, because I also, at certain point, I'm like, okay, this is just, I better leave that alone, because I'm just gonna break something else. The other thing that and I've been always that way, and I always had a certain picture in my head. How I want to show my dog, and how I want my dog to look or feel more, not to look, because yeah, look is just how I want my dog to move, and
It's the sync
the
between the
sync,
two
the
of you. I know
harmony,
that.
all these words, but that I'm really striving for this.
So you watch something, and then when, like again, back to the original question, when do you think, or can you even tell? Because like I cannot for myself, but I think that your brain goes very different. When do you say, this is what I want to work on the next session? And it can be 5 minutes before the session, or it can be the night before, or a week before. But you, like, I have a feeling that you do make this commitment to, this is what I need to do. When does it happen?
So yeah, after watching the performance and watching how the dog goes and you know what is happening, the next thing I will do, I will watch myself. I will watch myself to see if me as a handler, I did something that my dog just haven't seen. You know, being on a big stage, being nervous, being, you know, all this, like, did I do something stupid that my dog is just like, oh my gosh, what did you just do? And if those are very important moments to me, because
sure.
that happened to me many times. I'm like, I think, okay, if there's something went wrong.
Because it's losing points, that it's on you and not the training
right,
of the dog.
and that would be the big,
that's like
big
the first
part
easy
of
thing that you can change, right?
It's like, what did I do? Did I say something that my dog is like, what did you just say? Or did I move unnatural, something that my dog is like, why are you doing this? Like, so I'm looking at the dog, I'm looking at the mistakes, the things that I'm like, okay, this should be better. And I'm like, okay, but what did you do that your dog behaved that way? And of course, pretty much every time I find something that I did, and I have to make it better for the next one.
Yeah. Good. I think I like this. How do you think we're different in this way? Like, what do you think? How do you think I function this way?
You don't watch your performances as many times as I do.
Definitely don't. Which it's good and bad. Like but I just feel that I have it, but sometimes I'm wrong about it. Like for example, how long was the AWDF? It's been at least 5-6 months, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I still have not watched it. Because I kind of have, in my head, I have an ultimate picture of what I need, and one competition doesn't really force me to change something. But for you, it's really, and I think it's a good thing, because it kind of focuses you on, well, I cannot let that go. I need to see how I can improve it, right?
Right, because I also want to improve as a handler. I mean, my training changed, style, you know, it evolved, and I always strive to get better. So, and I don't want to mess up my dog. So I'm like, I know it comes first with me. So.
Yeah. So I mean, we've done quite a bit even together. I mean, I don't know how many times both of us were not at the same time in the World Championship, but you have your own share of being on the American team. You did it with a male and a female. And sometimes people have the preferences. And even right now, you have a male that you're training for Mondio that we're going to talk about, and you have the female that you're doing IGP. Where do you stand with male versus a female? Like, where is your
Yeah, after training both, it doesn't matter to me. Good dog is a good dog. That's it. That's how simple it is. I used to think male. No, it's really, if there is a good dog, it's a good dog. There's no
How about
gender
on the
preference.
human aspect of things, like a female versus male competitor? What are the advantages and disadvantages, and what do you think? What comes easier, and where is the part that you're like, man, I wish I'm a guy right now, or the other way around, or I'm glad that I'm a female? Or does it make any difference?
I don't think so. Not anymore. Not anymore. I used to think some weird things, it's just,
Right.
that. But I think it's like when, as you actually,
So you think the kind of fake smiles that the girl make at the judge in the basic position or stuff like that,
yeah,
do you think that affects a judge or
I
no?
hope it doesn't. This is like,
It shouldn't, but do
really,
you
it
think
should.
it does? Me as a guy, if I have to say it, I think it definitely does, even if you don't want to, unless it's way too fake and it really doesn't come even a tiny bit interesting. I think it affects a guy. But you don't think so?
Well,
I mean, let's start like this. Like how, like I think it's very cool conversation. When I think
I'll tell you
few days
something. Okay, I'll
before.
tell you something. Long time ago, we're talking, we're talking beginnings. We're talking 18, 20 years ago, right? I had no clue. I just got into IGP and whatever. And, for me, it was just like, man, I just want to train my dog. I want to do good, I want to grow as a handler. Like, none of those things matter to me.
Sure.
But I've heard that from other women competitors.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So, which was like, okay, really? Like, is there a thing? And
Yeah. Like,
which is ridiculous, but again,
Well,
I've heard that
we do everything
long time
to make,
ago too.
we do everything to make the points, or we should. I'll give a little bit of a, like, let's say when I'm about to go to a competition, and I think, well, what would be my outfit be? What would I wear? My concern, my number one priority is always, how does the dog gonna see me within the field? Then if I'm healing, how big and how
Yeah.
floppy things
Yeah.
are. So
Yeah.
I would be like, all of my, well, I would say 99%. Of course, I would care a little bit about how I look. But for the most part, the main priority, and I think that's kind of most guys in the dog world, we think of, let's be comfortable and not confuse the dog, and perhaps find a way, because of what we wear,
Yeah.
to help them. I feel that it's not quite the same with the women trainers.
I can totally see it, but that is not something that I ever thought of. For me, number one priority was like, I need to feel comfortable. Because if I don't feel comfortable in the clothes I'm wearing, I'm just
But
gonna
let me stop you here, because
move
this is
weird.
interesting. what a guy thinks of what is comfortable and what a girl or a woman thinks what is comfortable, it's like, as I was saying, like for me, comfortable is, hey, you and me, the dog.
Right.
And I feel that women, and I think it makes sense. If I was a woman, I would also be this way. Is what makes me feel comfortable if I was a woman is also how everybody sees me, besides how we heal together or something. Am I wrong or?
Well, I think if you think this way, that is,
Because
you
it can
probably
help you if you
don't-
feel good, no?
right. I mean, okay.
It's a tough one.
No, it's not. Actually, it's not. Well, I can just speak for myself. What I see right now on the competition field, I question at times. Because I'm like, this is not a, what do you call it, catwalk?
A fashion
Show. It's like, I understand, and I totally understand as a woman, like you want to look nice and clean and like present yourself.
And we want you to look nice.
Right. But for me, there are limits. There are limits. I don't need to show my body. I don't need to be half naked to show. And it's actually, for me, it's like, I don't want you to be focused on this.
Right.
I want you to be focused on my performance.
Good one.
And I want it to look very clean, very presentable. But the more you show your body, it takes away from the actual performance.
But maybe for some women doesn't, because it is such an important factor to mentally feel comfortable. You know, it's kind of like I need to have the makeup. I have to feel good about how I look to everybody, and then I can really perform. Sometimes that is a thing, no?
Well, then.
I mean, that's
if
my
you're so
guess. I'm not a
focused on
girl, of
yourself,
course.
then maybe there is a different underlying problem. You know, I it's just like I'm saying, like, you look. Yeah, you can put makeup. You can put makeup, and you can put makeup. You can be dressed, and you can be dressed. It's just. Again, I do not want to draw any attention to my appearance, and I still can feel good about myself to emphasize the things that I want to emphasize. But again, like for me, it's still
Right.
like it's the natural beauty, and
Yeah.
I don't want to emphasize things. I want to look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, this feels good, this is me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I feel that way, then I can show my dog, it's like, okay, like I'm in my own skin, I feel good, now I can show, I don't need to think about my appearance, like
Right.
that's just too much focus on something that, if there's too much focus on this, that is like we're confusing the
But again, you would do it if you recognize that would affect your performance. You would make sure
I
that
would
you
not.
will eliminate. No.
I would not. No, that's not my problem.
Okay.
That's really not my problem. And I wish that it's not happening, because it's quite ridiculous. I can recognize it immediately on the field.
Yeah, but women
And,
look at
I know,
other
but I
women in a
really
very
wish it's not
different
happening.
way than how
I
guys
really
would look at the
wish.
women. Let me ask you a different thing. And that's another kind of difference between how we, like, if you ask me how many times I've done world championships or whatever, like those kind of statistics are very vague in my head, to where if I ask you, I know that you will tell me exactly. But the question that I have is a little bit different. And this is, what did change, if anything, about how you looked, let's say at your first and second time you went to a world championship to 2025 doing a world championship as the handler?
Yeah.
And the stress and the demand and what you wanted to show, and how did you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was very, it happened very quick, maybe too quick, that I been to my first world championships. Yeah, I don't know. It was, you know, my first national ever with my dog, and here we are. We're going to world championships, and it was just, you know, I mean, I just started. Like, it was literally, like, I just started. My dog was 2.5 years old. My first IGP, my first national, and we're going to world championships. I was just excited.
So
like,
the
you just
dream was just
yeah, it was just
very
too fast. Like, it was just like, oh my gosh, like, it's just like, this is crazy. Like, this is like, now when I look back, I'm like, man, it was good. Okay, it was good and bad, because it humbled me a lot. You know, I came like with this like, oh my gosh, I ruled the world. Like, look at me, you know, like 2 years into IGP, I'm doing it, you know. It was like, bam. But I just didn't know also. Like, I had no, like, okay, I mean, I had a good training, but training and good trainers and training, but just going to the competition, all this, like, it's no way you can know everything. Like, you just gonna experience this as you go. And
now 2025, how is it different? Because I remember before, like, I don't know if it was a week or 2 weeks before, you already had the butterflies.
Yeah,
You
this
already,
time, yes.
it was like, there was
Yeah.
a different level of pressure
Yeah.
that you put on yourself.
Yeah.
Was because of the realization what it takes, or the experience, or how did it that build up to becoming something else?
Yeah, because I actually realized that I'm capable. Like, I'm really capable to do really good.
And that's good and bad,
And
right?
that's good and bad. Yes, yes. But it was very, I mean, I was excited. Of course, every time I'm excited, but I'm excited to show, like, I know there's a good training behind, and I'm a different person. I get excited, but I know that I don't let this excitement to just throw me off.
And
It's
maybe
more of a, like, okay, you're excited, but you have to put this energy, like, you still have to show.
right.
So don't get distracted, and
The
like,
realization that it's not so easy, maybe.
yeah. I mean, it does not get easier. For sure. It's crazy. Like, I thought, I'm like, the more you compete, it gets easier. It does not. It actually gets harder when you realize that you have something to show, something different, and you do have a big chance, and it's on a different level. It's
So you would you say that you kind of, where you are right now, you have one extra component how to navigate and overcome, and that's the pure pressure of the realization of what it takes.
That was the
for
first
that.
competition. This one's, when I realized, I'm like, ooh,
I will tell you.
I have to prove something. I have to show something. Like, it's just this expectation, and it's not. It's the expectation that, I mean, I put on myself, and knowing what I'm capable to do, and I just, like, pray that it all comes together. You know,
Right.
like, Yeah.
There is something interesting I'm gonna say here, and as I'm talking, you will know already my question. So when I first started competing in a world level, people didn't expect anything. People didn't know who Ivan Balabanov is. It would be my time to go and show, and that would be the time when everybody's gonna go to the booths and go shopping or get beers or whatnot. And that was very good for me. Eventually, I mean, I don't know, was it 2000, 2001 with Django, I get to be vice world champion at FMBB. By one point, me and Knut Fuchs had this run to the end. And regardless of how that went, but that's when things changed. And they changed very drastically, like just like this, like boom. The next time I was at the World Championship, and I'm just getting goosebumps talking about it because you know where I'm going with this. It's like, okay, well, Ivan Balabanov is coming on the field, let's go watch him. And now nobody's at the food stands and things change, and there is that pressure that I had to learn how to deal with. Now, for you kind of carry that pressure simply because you have the same last name as me and you're my wife.
Yes.
So tell me about this.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. It just comes with the last name. And
like on your
people
side
look at
of
me,
things,
yeah, people look at me through you.
do you yourself feel like you have this pressure that you put on yourself because of you and me being who we are, or is it more because of what everybody else's expectation is?
So I personally, I don't. I mean, it's just comes with my last name, but I've never. And again, that it's it's almost like from the beginning, like I never had easy, you know, when you want to accomplish something and you have a clear goal and you're just going for it, like you're gonna hear behind your back, you know, things that, woo, a lot. And it was not, you know, an easy journey, but I just, again, as I said, like if I have something in my mind,
but
I'm
you
just
never
going
had
for
that
it.
opportunity to just go on the field and show the way I was telling you. Like you go and you show and nobody really,
never.
you just kind of sneak in.
Yeah.
You never had that.
I never had
even
that.
from the very first
But
world
it never,
competition.
it
You
never
had
bugs
that.
me because it never bugged me because I'm used to just people talking, not necessarily good things. So I'm just a part of my life. So it's just became a long time ago a noise for me, and it just never affect my showing. And plus, I do things for myself. Like I'm my own critic. I'm my own worst and best friend, and I don't need anybody to tell me things. Or, you know, even with the judges, you know, I've heard so many critiques and you this, and it's like, and I can hear and I can, but I already know what they're gonna say. Like I am so aware of my performance that if there is something that they're gonna say, it's gonna make my face like, oh, okay, like I will go back. You know me. I will go back and watch this, and I'm like, where did he see that? What's he talking about? You know. And then I'm like, okay, I have no clue, but I'm not changing anything because this just not exist. So it's just never been a problem to me. You know, the only thing that unfortunately I experience because of my last name, it's actually the opposite. Like, I feel like I've never got a break. Like, I was always actually...
I probably agree with this too.
Always just, okay, let's...
Just because
It's Balabanov,
it's assumed that you should, the expectations are different, and it sucks, I know.
Oh, this, or, you know, sometimes I think, you know, I mean, you've been this for a long time, and you've had your friends and enemies and whatever.
Very true.
And I just paid price for it, you know, and I'm like, it's okay, you know, it's okay. I'm just gonna do my job, and I always think I'm not going to have that affect me. I'm just gonna do my job. I'm just gonna get better and leave that noise behind me and get better. If somebody can see it, that's great. If not, too bad, you know, like, and like, I don't need like to tell me
it is a unique position that you're in, for sure. For sure. And that's something else that I think it will be interesting for everybody. How do you think we are different in our approach to the training? Like, how do we plan, and how do we go about it, and how do we, like, what do you think? That's an easy one, because sometimes you know, you're like, well, why don't you do this, or you're doing too much, or whatever. Like, you kind of make good checkpoints for me, which I think I do for you too. But where are we different, and how do we complement, and where do we clash in our...
I think one thing definitely you help me with, it's to I would get so hard on myself. Like, I would just, if something goes wrong, it's just stuck in my head for ever, and you are able to bring me back, and it's just, okay, let's just do it, or do this.
It's not the end of the world. We
not
haven't broken the dog.
And for me it would be the end of the world, you know, certain sessions, you know, in my head. It's just like, I can make a subik in my head that it can hunt me for, just like the tracking session I told you about from Poland.
Yeah, you should tell the story. It's a good one.
Yeah.
So she goes back home to Poland, which is kind of home, but not quite anymore. But anyway, she goes back to Poland with the idea, because in Florida we don't have good tracking, so kind of make a combo, see the family, but also do tracking. So she goes tracking, and what happens?
And right after tracking, I call Ivan and just telling him how bad was my track, like how, I mean, it was...
it was the end of the world.
This was the end of the world. In my world, this was the end of the world. Like, I just get emotional at times. Like, that's the good thing. Like, I just get emotional, and like, you bring me back to reality, you know. It's just that balance, that it's like, hey, just see things how they are, you know. And then you know, I told you what happened. You made a plan to do another track tomorrow. Of course, the next track was amazing, but then like, this is in my head, you know. It's just like, okay, like, my track looks like, for me, really terrible. Like, it was this year, and I have to help her on the whole track. But I forgot, I mean, not the whole track, but I mean, like, a lot of this, it's just like, I have to help. But I forgot to mention that then after the fact, when I come down, when I talk to you, and I'm like realizing, oh well, she hasn't track on this since last year, and also I laid the track, and there was a storm, like big storm going through that. While I was going last leg on my track, I barely could walk because the wind and the rain it's like almost not making me move. I forgot about all that. And then it rained on my track, then the wind was there, and yeah, I forgot that maybe I shouldn't be tracking. Maybe I should just leave it alone. Yes.
So what about when you watch
But at
me
the time, I
train?
just didn't see it, and then you just kind of like, hey, hold on. How about you really made it impossible? So she still made it.
When you watch me train, how is it when you are actually, and you are at times a very important part, because I do have my opinion, and sometimes you have to fight with me because I am wrong and you know that I'm wrong. And tell me a little bit about this. That would be interesting.
Well, I mean, if I see something that it's happening, I will tell you about it, and you're gonna either take it or leave it.
And most of the times I fight about it. Or
No. I think you learn also.
Whew.
Yes, you learn also to listen. Yeah, you learn to listen. So it's not always that you're just gonna stuck with your. No, that's how.
But there are
It's
times where
gonna-
you're like, you do also do what I do to you, which is cool. And this is like, okay, time out. Like you're going too far. You're demanding too much, or you
Yeah.
forget
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he needs.
Yeah.
He's asking for something from you. You're not
Yeah.
giving it, and these
Yeah,
are
it's important.
These are
It's
times
important.
that I can miss, and you bring me back.
Yeah, I'm trying to for you not to be in your head, but watching the dog in front of you, and just like, hey, that's what he needs right now, or she needs, or yeah. Because I think it's a at times, as I said, like you're in your head, you're just like going to do this, like a guy who's like, okay, I'm just going to do that, but it just doesn't go like this. Like you go and do this, but you also have to, along the way, like you have to think who is next to you, and you have to make sure that that dog does the right thing, but also makes it the way to feel good. It's not just go like a train.
A machine, a
machine,
robot,
yes,
yes.
robot, yeah. It's like no, you have to.
Which is cool. I appreciate it for sure.
Well, now I can.
Now.
I again, like it took me. It's took me a while to become who I am, and I mean, of course, and now I have all confidence to say it. And again, at the end, you're just gonna, bottom line, you're just gonna take it or leave it. But I said that, so that's important.
Here is
say
the
it.
follow-up question to this, which is genuinely I'm interested because it is a good question. So we know over the years, of course, I'm influencing you and I'm teaching you and all that. However, I am also always open to something being injected into me to change. What do you think, like, where the places that you kind of really have a good influence on me and to kind of really move me from a certain place to a different place when we train? when I work with my dogs? What were the
Well,
times
the
that
things
you,
that I
you
would
really helped
think
me
of,
with?
the moments, it's for me is always analyzing if what you're trying to do with the dog, if the dog has enough of the previous knowledge to move on to this. But I also, it's like a struggle in between, like, sometimes you just go from step one to like just go so fast and you make it happen. But sometimes, like, I can track back for me where was the broken link,
And I haven't given enough.
and you haven't given enough of time for this to like be done, and now you can move on. I think that's really the only thing I can think of, because that's how I do analyze my training with any of my dogs. It's again, like, it's the performance itself, what I'm doing, and is this fair enough, is the dog has enough knowledge for what I'm asking
Right.
next. And I
like for like on my end, probably the most important times is the challenge between going through the motions and routine and behaviors and maintaining the connection. And every time you have said, in whichever way you would say it, but it basically really point that I'm missing the connection with my dog, and it is still a dog, and so on. And it's something really, and the moment, every time you've said it, I'm like, fuck. And typically, I would say for the most part, I immediately recognize it.
but
maybe.
It works the opposite way for me, because
To where like a, let's say if I train with, I don't know, Yanni or Mark Sococci or whatever, like guys training, that the emotional connection can, like we think about it, but it can stay away to where you're like, you're losing him, and he needs you,
Right. No, I totally get the, but yeah, I mean, you're guys, so that's a little bit different, but so it's good to have that women touch to like, hey, yeah. But
would you say that there is that difference?
With you, it's the same. I would go the extreme the other way, and you would bring me back to like, hey, now you need to get things done. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that balance in between, mm-hmm. Feminine and masculine, and it just has to constantly work together. Mm-hmm. So, because you say there is too much, guy thing, and for me, there's too much sometimes, I want to be, yeah, and then you bring me like, hey, wake up, yes.
It's a good conversation we're having. I mean, it's good for me. I don't know.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We actually, I mean, we talk a lot, but I think
that's a little different.
Yes, that's a little different.
I want to jump into something that it's always, it's kind of mind-blowing about your dogs. And I'm talking all of your dogs. I'm talking from any dog that I can think of. You would go outside and your dogs, including little Rocky, they will all be like little statues, like sphinxes, waiting at the door, or they end up on the top of the couch and anywhere where they can kind of look, and they wait for you. Mm-hmm. And they wait for you, like I can go and poke them, and they're like, I'm waiting here. And I mean, we live together. I know what you do. I don't see anything drastically different than what I do with my dogs, but none of them really, at least I don't think they do that. And that kind of leads me to the actual questions. What do you think makes a dog truly love the work, the training, besides the reinforcements, besides food or toys or whatever that is, but also in the grand scheme of things? What is the secret? How are they like this? What happens? Do you even know what you're doing?
Well, I don't do it on purpose. It just happens. That's the thing.
And what happens though?
I just truly enjoy their company. I just truly enjoy the interaction. I give back. I'm very genuine with them. I give back what they give me. And it's on a much deeper level. I truly treat them as my companions, as someone that I live with, I'm responsible for. I give them respect. I protect them. They're just part of my life, you know, and
I mean, they know it. And you know how sometimes people would think, well, dogs do things only to benefit themselves, and, you know.
well, I had
they're
that.
just
That's the
using
thing. I
you
had that
and-
before even getting into training. Maybe that's why training came. Like the training itself, like all the things, like the technical part or learning theories, all this technical side of the training. It's just of course you need to know it to do certain things, but just that, like, you have to satisfy and understand this animal in front of you as living creatures that have needs that needs to be met. And it's not necessary, you know, like the training side of it. Like
Right.
training, actually, for me, it's like I do it I love competing. So I've been competing since I was like 8 years old. So it's satisfying, like what I like to do, like, and doing it with a dog, and showing their potential, not just from the training side of, but actually like showing who they can be, who they are. It's the most satisfying part to me. Like that's what I'm starving. Like if I don't have that, which
But
just
how
didn't
do you
happen.
think you get this? Because I know that you can take any of my dogs right now, and I don't know how long, but I would speculate that maybe within 2 weeks they will turn into the same, like, where is Natalia? We want, and it's not what is really kind of interesting even from just dog behavior point of view. None of our dogs are, you know, nerve wrecks or have separation anxiety. They don't destroy things in the house just because we live or whatever. They're just very patiently waiting with intensity, to where my dogs are either sleeping or chewing on a ball or whatever they're doing. They just, you know, and it's very different. It is radically different. And
I think they know that I don't treat them as a training machines. That's really it's such a, like the training and competing, this is such a, like a, on a side thing. Like everything else, what I'm doing with the dogs on a daily basis matters to me more than
Yes.
going and train for 15-20 minutes.
but
Like
it pays off in a very cool way,
right,
because
it's
when
but
you put Glinda or Icon down on the long down, they're just waiting there, and they're like this. There is nothing else that matters. Or when you do a recall, if it's 93 degrees as it was, and you say come, and she literally cannot come any faster than what she does. And you know that she doesn't do it because she's gonna get paid with a ball.
Right.
It's the you and me.
Right.
Right?
I think I'm very honest and
Is there
genuine
something to
with
do with the, I mean, you take care in a really interesting ways. When we eat at home, your dogs are waiting, even if they get or no, but they're like there. My dog's just whatever. Then the morning comes and you're like, I'm going hiking with my dogs, and there's nothing to change your mind. And I don't know how much it is for your own mental health. I'm sure that has a big part. But do you think all this kind of outside actual training, things that you do, which I want to think, that there is something to that. I mean,
I think it's all that.
yeah.
I think it's all that. And it's just then it's the training part.
Because
where
normally
we already have such a common language,
right.
like that's
normally
an
trainers will
understanding.
think of, I'm gonna create a fast recall because I'm gonna pay very much. There's gonna be some jackpot, there's gonna be whatever. Or I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna create this, but I'm gonna create it during the training session.
Yeah, I never had to be worried about it. Never even crossed my mind.
Correct.
Yeah. I never worried about speed.
But it's because what you do in the everyday with your dogs, like when you go, like, it's I'm going on a hike, and then she's gone. She's gone like for 3, sometimes 4 hours. What are the hikes look like? I mean, there are things that they, like, you're getting under the skin, and I'm not saying it in a bad way, but somewhere they really start to get so in tune and attached, and the motivation level that they have, all of your dogs, like, and we will talk about everyone separately even, but all of them, when you tell them to come, it's insane. And it doesn't come because of what they're gonna get paid with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You derail me a little
Share
bit
some
from
secrets
this.
here.
I truly don't know. Like, I don't have a recipe how I make it, but when you're my dog, you're my dog. You're my dog, and we are in this together. So, and I feel like every day it's sharing the ups and downs, the joy and sadness and everything, but we are just always together. And they know they can trust me, and they know that I will not leave them behind.
Like, their motivation to do something for you, it's really off the roof. And I'm speaking from knowing and seeing.
But it comes from like, for me, like,
right?
everything they're doing or they're not doing, it comes very like from the inside. Like, I'm either like mad at them or I'm very happy. There's this like very clear in our communication, or not even like disappointed, it's I used that word before, that I'm just disappointed. It's like almost like, why would you, and it breaks them more than anything else, because we spend so much time together. And yeah, when we're going a hike, it is for me too, because I need, at some point, I just need the solitude. I just need to go and clear my mind.
There is something, you know, there is something that I want to mention, and hopefully that might kind of help you to think of, because a very big portion of trainers, somehow they're convinced and they're made believe, because of just how things are done, I guess, that if we put some social isolation, like if we keep the dog in a crate, or if we somehow restrict some food and the dog gets food as the dog is working, and these are, you know, generally speaking, are ways to create this kind of motivation, but it's a different level. It's frustration and deprivation. It's what it's based on, and you're creating a different kind of need. And your dogs are not in a crate, they are fed, they are spoiled, they have all sorts of toys all over the place, and you get far better results than I have ever seen by just allowing them to be, than deprive them to trigger that kind of dependency.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they're not dependent on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No. That's and I know all these things, you know, as I got into IGP, especially a long time ago, it's just like you hear all these things, you know, and you're thinking it's the right thing to do. And then I'm looking at this dog and I'm like, what are we doing here? You know, like what is this? Why am I feeding you from a bowl, doing whatever? Like, why am I keeping you in a crate? Like, you're my dog, you should be with me all the time, and you should be learning, and I will be telling you what's good, what's not good. And this way, it's like just with little kids, you know, you show them the world, how it's done, and how, you know, to be safe, and how you perceive the world and what's good for them, to, you know, how to behave so they're good for the society. And there's, you know, but if I just have the dog in a crate and then I take it and then I do some food, whatever, in a bowl, it's like, I'm like, it just feels so awkward. Like, even for me, like, it would feel like we're two different, like, okay, let's go. Like, we don't know each other. Like, it's like, so how I can, like, if I don't know you, really who you are, then how I can create a strong connection that it's beyond just feeding and, you know, giving you a food and telling you, like, it's just.
But the interesting part is that I don't think you're doing what you normally do with this intention in mind. It just comes as some weird gift, a bonus to.
Yeah. That's I don't even.
Yeah.
It just comes. It's like, so. I guess I've been watching my parents, how they you know, they
raise you, or
no, like how they interact with the animals, and yeah, and that was always way beyond, like, they had zero training experience, zero.
But they always have this cool ass German Shepherd that just
and they
off leash doing just the coolest.
And I watched them since a kid, you know, how they interact with them, you know. They'll just tell them what they thinks and show them, and if you're doing something, it's like, hey, don't do it, you know. It's just so genuine. Everything is just comes in the right time and right moment, and if whatever, you just like, oh, just go do your things, you know. And
so sometimes training and focusing on the training and using all this kind of deprivation that we're talking about, they actually seems to sidetrack and almost bite you in the ass because it's a dependence, and it's fake. Like, I need you, but I need you because, yeah, I need to get out of the crate. I need to eat. I need whatever. And that is a very, very different take on how you can create motivation and cooperation with the dog.
It just
right?
never spoke to me this way. I tried because, again, like long time ago, that's what you hear.
I remember one of the first times when you had the dog, the first dog that you got from me, Maddox, and I don't even know where we were, but you would throw some food in the crate, and I'm like, what are you doing? And, you know, there was this time.
Yeah, I've been just doing probably things that...
Of course, everybody does.
Everybody does, and I didn't know better. And then I'm like, okay, that's just not for me. I even have no... Yeah.
So let's talk about Glinda. Because he's definitely very, very cool, very special dog. Like everybody that we've had here, not forget about competitions, but everybody that actually has know her on a personal level. And also, you know, like all the helpers you take, Yanni, Vlad, Enrico, anybody that has done anything with her within 20 seconds. It's like, this is a very, very cool dog. And of course, you know, knowing Mia, and she was the breeder, and she's somebody that also cares and knows what to look for, and making the combination which eventually led us to follow that bloodline and make a bunch of more of them. And now I know that you know, I mean, you and me, we had a little bit bigger expectations when this was the first world championships that you went to, the FMBB and the FCI this year. And there were some things that went really well, some things that didn't go as well. However, in both competition, there was, for the people that understand the sport and appreciate training, but also appreciate quality of dog, it's very easy to see without just totally leave the points alone, to appreciate both the quality of the dog and the training of the dog. And you have that, and you know that. And I think this is why, regardless of the mistakes, both times you won the trophy of the best female dog in the competition, which is one of very special ones, especially when it comes down to breeding and from looking from a breeder perspective. A lot of times, you know, trainers are like, no, I need a male dog. And she's one of these females that is like, you don't need a male dog. I can do way better than any of the top level male dogs. Tell me a little bit about the both world competitions, what went right, what went wrong, and what you learned from those looking for 2026.
That no matter how good of a training you have and how good of a dog, I think I'm starting to realize the fact of, you kept saying this, and I kept refusing that thought for a long time, the lack of draw.
The luck of the draw.
Yeah, the lack of the draw.
And the luck of the draw, basically, if anybody that doesn't know, it can be a critical factor. And basically what that means is like when it's draw night and you pick your number, when you're going to show obedience or protection and tracking and so on. And if you go in the very first flight doing obedience in a world championship in the very first day, the judge, no matter how much they like what you do, they're gonna have a little bit sharper pencil, even though it doesn't make much sense, but they would stay much more critical in order so they're afraid to give so high points to where it's like, well,
Set
what
the
if a
tone.
dog does better and so on. And then on the other hand, by the end of the day or by the end of the competition, like let's say Sunday morning, the judges are already, their brains are a little saturated, and their judgment, no matter what they say, it gets a little off. And then they get also influenced by the crowd and so on and so on. So the points can fluctuate, not necessarily by the performance, strictly by the luck of the draw. And that is definitely a factor. That's kind of as a side note for people that don't understand what you meant.
Yeah, I was just always refusing that fact because I'm like, okay, I'm either ready or not ready, whatever it's gonna. And I still believe in that. It's just like I have to come in ready. And like in opposite to you, like when I go to a draw night, I'm like, okay, that's what it is, you know. Like I just gonna pick a number and that's what it's going to be, and I'm gonna definitely do my best to show whatever we have on that piece of paper. But yeah.
However, like let's take the last world championship, the one you got the second best obedience, which I genuinely would argue with anybody that it was the best obedience. And you got 7th place overall. I mean, very, very incredible work and placement. You know, total respect for that. However, because of the luck of the draw, what you picked as a draw, you had to do the long down first and then do your performance. And it was 93 degrees and full sun. And then for your protection, you just wanted to make sure that it's the same. So it was probably just a little bit hotter. And one of the biggest concerns for us was not so much how to, do the rituals and prepare the dog to enter the field, but we had all sorts of cooling blankets and tricks to keep, and just makes you focus on something that is important, and that's the dog
that was the
being fresh.
main concern for me. Like I wasn't worried about she gonna pull through, gonna whatever. It's just like, is my dog gonna be okay? That was really my biggest concern. And you know that since I draw that and I check the weather, I'm like, okay, we have to make sure that my dog is not getting overheated.
Yeah.
Like that was my only concern. The rest, I'm like, okay, we will do our job. But
and
this was in my head.
And then, of course, if you had a different draw, you had the opportunity to show it even 65 degrees.
Oh, yeah, that was,
in a cloudy, nice early morning.
Right.
With
a jacket and hats on.
But this is the
okay.
game.
Yeah, that's
this is the game.
Right, this is the game.
And ultimately, if you were to even handle a little better, there were points that you could make and not lose or correct. So tell me a little bit about this stuff. You can go FMBB or you can stay with the FCI in Spain. Like in the obedience at FCI, where you lost the points in the overall really fluid, beautiful performance. But there were few things, especially like the basic position, and she kind of consistently ended up coming. What was going on in your head, and did you think that you can, even within the routine, still make the changes?
Yeah. I thought, but I caught myself a little bit too late. I caught myself on a.
Because one of the things is
A-frame.
that you, and that's just, again, I would put myself in the same basket here. We don't help. We go and we show. And there are few people that do that. And every time when that happens, you get the appreciation of the dog training world, because you're not saying down, you're not saying heel, you're
Yeah.
very clean when you show.
And that's
But then there is that difference where you can actually, within the routine, say, hey, next time you have to do this better, right?
yeah, and it was just you've been telling me all these little things, how you would handle this and what I should do. I thought I could do something else, but I caught myself too late. One thing that I learned for sure, and it happened this year, really, it happened this year, to stay in a moment, which is of course very hard when you're, like under so much pressure and you in front of that crowd and all this, and to still stay in a moment and judge every single step of your performance and adjust as you go. What do you need to do? And to do that, you need to know your training very well, and you need to know yourself very well. And that I learned, I literally learned that this year.
Right, that's not something you can learn out in our training field.
No. I mean, you almost like, not almost, it's just like I walk out and I know it's not to just go through motions and show my dog like, I'm just walking, I'm here, the most important person, my dog would just walk next to me without any purpose there. It's just stay with every single step of that performance, stay and analyze literally every single step what we're doing. And
because ultimately you are the driver.
Yes.
And what you do really matters, right?
And I caught myself a bit too late. I think I'm doing the right thing, but then I'm not going, I clearly don't, because she has those little crooked finishes, couple of them.
But was it because you wanted to show as clean as possible without helping, and not knowing where you actually could have influenced her between exercises, or what was going on? Or was it even something that you were acknowledging of, besides, okay, that didn't go as perfect as it can?
Well, it was my voice. It was the way I would say the command, my voice, and well, now I know after the fact that I have to train for all the voices that I can show at the championships, and I need to, even from the biggest excitement, she needs to come in the right position. I know it's like, for some people probably that sounds silly, but that's how deep and detailed and my brain can get. And always trying to find, like, what did I do wrong that my dog did not perform?
And that's the insanity of the evolution of IGP, the level of competence in the training and competence in judging, and the demand of what really means 100 points. Even, is this even possible today? Because back even 5-10 years ago, 100 points was not it wasn't easy to get, but there were times that they were given. And there is a very different understanding and also pressure of what it means, to the point that it's almost impossible to. Which,
For me, like just tell you, like for me, it's I know it's a performance, so of course you have a certain like when you're performing, that's not how you are in a normal life, you know, like walking on doing things. It's a performance, so you have to create that persona that's gonna perform for that specific situation. And but still, in how I think about it, it cannot be so like deviating from, like, you know, I see like all these robotic moves and all these weird, you know, things, and I'm like, yeah, that's not my picture of a handler. It's like, I don't walk like this in a normal life, but that's how I walk with my dog, and that feels natural to me, and we both feel good about it, me and my dog. It's not like my dog is chasing me, trying to guess what I'm doing, or it's like, no, we're in this together, and we're moving together, and every step it's an art. And I want to show that that's like, I don't understand handler help. I just doesn't cross my mind. Like it's just something that if you need to do that, that means that your dog doesn't understand what you want. And I can pick on subtle handler help. And for me, it's like, if you need to do that, well, then maybe you just should go lower in your category, because clearly if you wouldn't do it, then your dog wouldn't perform the command.
Right.
You know, like the handler help never existed to me. Like it's like, no, this is like, no, it's not in my repertoire for sure.
What is did your appreciation for somebody winning a world championship changed after this year of you doing the 2 world championships? Because you've done before a bunch of world championships, but I really feel that this year was a very different as far as your evolution, your growth as a trainer. And the appreciation, and like Susan Miller winning the world championship, the FMBB, the FCI, the Swedish, what was her name, Natalie. Winning the WSV yesterday. We know actually both of them, and even if we didn't know, but when you see them and they're pulling and fighting for every point, and it's going, and we're getting goosebumps, and it's like always, you don't know. And finally, yes, you are the world champion. How do you see this today done before the time?
I can be truly happy for these people, you know, because I know
what it takes.
I mean, this is insane.
There is some luck factor, and there's just like,
there is, and but still, you know, it's hey, we're going into this all together, and let's see who's the best, you know, and it's just insane.
Because I personally believe that you have to get to a certain level, and that certain level has to be the level that you not fooling yourself, you're not blowing smoke up your ass, but you really know that if the ifs are very few, you can be a world championship, but you weren't, and somebody did it. And there is a different level of appreciation, and almost, you know, you just feel like, wow, like amazing accomplishment, where people or trainers that are on their way there, but they don't, even if they believe it, they don't understand how much it takes. There is a different level of appreciation that comes when somebody wins, coming from people that are so close and they can do it, but they were not able for whatever reason, versus anybody else, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. That's a different
Because sometimes it happens, it's kind of like in the music industry, the one hit and you never hear from that singer or a band anymore, and it's a great song. Sometimes you can win a world championship, but man, that is really like all the stars and everything has to line up. And with the people that are winning lately, you know that that's not
one-time thing.
Throw the dice.
That
this
just
is
happens. You had luck.
Work
it
and
just,
training and understanding.
And there was nobody else to really like threaten you. You know, it just happens. Okay, you know, like I look back and at some world championships, and that's what I see. You know, where it's just like, yeah, I mean, you win this, but there are a lot of buts to me, you know, and there are world championships where you just like, man, whoever's gonna be, like, this is really a race, you know, like it's really, and everybody could do it, you know, and it's just a different, and then, you know, like these people will do it great again and again and again, you know, they will be always like touching the, you know, it's a different, there are levels in being at the world championships, even if you're already world champion, but then we never hear about you again, you know, that's okay, that's, we are, you know, that's what you just said, you know, it was just luck, it was just whatever, you know, and but there are people that, yeah, they've been always there, you know, it's just there are levels. There are just levels. Good dog, good training is always beats anything. So
let me take your mind a little away from IGP.
Okay.
Now, Vyatar, which is your
yes.
young dog, also in some ways related to Glinda, because of her, we are doing Mondioring with the dog. And I mean, throughout all the years that you've been with me, you know about my passion of ring sports and so on. But you didn't have, like IGP was the only thing for you. And I tried sometimes to, you know, but it wasn't happening. What happened? Like, how did we decide? What made you be like, you know, I'm gonna do Mondioring? Because right now, when I see you training, you are very into it.
Just wanted to try something else. You know, just wanted to go. Well, so going back to, when I start, you know, when I hear sometimes people have the same stories, you know, like I would go and watch IGP and this, but I would walk around and I would see different sports, you know, and I would get stuck with Mondio at FMBB, you know, because it's cool. You know, it's just cool to watch, and it was different. It was like, oh, from this precision freak performance to like this just circus that has to like, it's just so different worlds. You know, I would film and watch and get stuck, and it's just like, you know,
and feel bad that for the dog that gets confused.
Yeah, but I had no clue back then. It's like, what am I even watching, you know? But it was cool. It was cool. Then, I mean, remember with one of the female, I mean, Ava, did French ring. I mean, she had already some training, and I just took over and prepare her for the trial. We did the one, and I truly enjoy it. But it was French ring, like
that's true. I forgot about this.
Yes,
yeah.
So, you know, I mean, we did the title, and I mean, I learned. We had, you know, So, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm learning from the best decoy in the world, the French ring. It just was just like, I love that. I really love that. Like, I really enjoy this. Didn't think about Mondio because I like the French, like the style of like, okay, this is like a real
the war between the dog
yes,
and the decoy.
that was something I'm like, okay, let's just do it. Mondio at the time was just like, okay, this is just too much of this things coming, and I call it as a circus, just like literally like we're in a circus right now. But now I have appreciation. I've watched you with Kimba for a couple years before I get the dog. I watched, and I handle her, and I realized, I'm like, this is not that easy. This is just a lot of like to prepare a dog for the highest level of ring sports, and man, this takes a special dog and training, and I'm like, I just want to challenge myself as a trainer, like, like I'm just need something else to do to not to get stagnant, not to just IGP. Yeah. I'm like, I need to try something else, and also something that I would never think I'm gonna go into this. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do it, and I'm literally learning with him.
It challenges you as a trainer because it really needs some different skill set and understanding of what's important in the different programs.
Yeah, right? And I don't know. Like, I really don't know. This is so new to me, and I'm just in this together with him.
What are the parts that you you really like in IGP, and then what are the parts that you really like in Mondio?
You mean like parts as a discipline, or?
Yeah.
Well, I love all the disciplines. There is no. At
so
this
like
point,
if you have to say, I like obedience better than protection or tracking, or I like in IGP, which is do you have a favorite part?
At this point, I do not have, and I really never had, because every discipline, like talking about tracking, obedience, or protection, requires different skill set and different approach. So it was very, I was very drawn to it because I had to work in between so many different emotions, and not just the dog but me as well. It was just that roller coaster of I don't go in obedience with that attitude. Just like, no, I have to soften up, and now we're like, let's go. Then I have tracking, I just have to be totally like, okay, it's just fun to play with all this, the emotions that the certain discipline requires, and so
how do you see
fun.
The Mondioring? Like with the limited experience that you have in it, but we're still training very seriously, and we have very high hopes and plans. What are the areas that you really, really enjoy, and what are the areas that you're like, man, this is...
The one that I don't feel comfortable with is that, but it's because of my physical restrictions. It's the wall, because I don't see myself.
Oh, jumping, making the dog jump that
to help the dog, 90 pound.
What if he's not making the jump?
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is just no for me. So that freaks me out. Then, as you know, I'm very lost at I'm better right now when, we train more the defensive handler. It's just, there is actually so much going on that my brain is just like, whoa, you know, from this like very structured IGP, you know, there's just certain things you need to do to this complete mess.
Right.
And you have to find yourself in
the
it.
sushi versus the hot pot.
I'm like, wow, this is a big, yeah, this is a big, but it's good. It's good. It's really challenged me.
How do you think the one program helps you for the other program, back and forth? Do you think you take some notes and something that benefits you, that you can be like, oh, I can, or do you look at them as very different ones? Because like me as a helper, as a decoy, I constantly, like I would say that I benefit so much of understanding both, and how I can inject some elements of either one to the other that really can
right, the training
bring
aspect
clarity,
of it.
you know?
Yes, that's the training aspect. Yeah, because I mean, if you think about the exercises, and there is a lot of, you can definitely, what I learned in IGP, I mean, it's just, there's not that precision side, but I mean, it's dog training. So unless I don't understand the idea of the exercise, you know, then I have to understand what is the final, you know, like, I mean, the big thing for me was the basket, right? I mean, this exercise was just
The
like
guard of object.
Yeah, guard of object. It's like
The biggest puzzle.
the biggest puzzle. Yes. I mean, it's not right now, but it's just like, okay, it's like, what am I doing here? You know, but I just had no clue. Like, there's zero knowledge about this. So, and there's still, like, I'm just still learning so much. Like, and that's one good thing that man, so many years into doing dog sports and training dogs. What, 15 years ago, I thought I know it all. And now, the more I go, I mean, you hear me saying, I'm like, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I can't believe listening to social media and people, it's like everybody is talking like an expert. I'm like, oh my gosh. But when you don't know what you don't know, you know, that, I don't know, it's just like, man, I just can't believe, like, I still feel like I have little knowledge, like there's still so much I can learn.
When you get,
that's my approach. That's how humble I got and open, and with that attitude, that's why almost might be a part of, like, I just want to try different things, you know, just because I have no clue, and I just want to learn, I just want to know, because this ultimately will help me, yeah, maybe in some IGP or whatever, you know. This is just dog training, you know, and just to realize, like, how much you still don't know.
We're in a very fortunate position that we can afford to find the time to train for completely different sports to having the highest level of goals, which is extremely time consuming. This is not something that you know, no matter how much you want to sacrifice, it's very, very, very tasking and demanding. And I don't think too many people can even afford to do that.
But I think we're also training smart. It's not that we're throwing ourselves in the same situation over and over again. We're always starving to, like, find the next training session is going to be something that we're going to accomplish, and it's going to go towards our goal. Like, we're not wasting a training session just to go and do things.
Right.
That just never happens. Never happens. We don't just come out and do things.
Yeah. if
go
we
through
do that,
motions.
we would rather just go and throw the
Exactly.
ball. Or
That's
whatever.
why it's so interesting, because like every training session, it's like just don't know what's gonna happen, but you know, it's just like, okay, let's roll
So when
with
you
it.
think of Mondioring and you have your dog and you're training, what are the exercises or the training of certain exercises that you really like and excite you, even if they're not coming easy to you? But what are the favorite pieces of it?
I mean, I like them really all.
Yeah.
You know, there is no like, I mean, the retrieve is cool. How, you know, how they need to, I mean, how they need to just retrieve different.
Just understand
Just-
that as a concept
Yes,
and not.
yes. And that's actually not, I mean, for me, again, it's like a learning process. So
Of course, but when you let's say tonight we will train. We're not, but let's say we would have. What would be like, oh, I'm looking forward to train this one because I kind of enjoy it, versus, man, that's a struggle.
no, I will.
Where you are right now.
Where there is a struggle, that's the thing that I want to go through the struggle. I don't put the struggles away. Like if if I have a struggle, I need to resolve that struggle within myself and the training, because that would just bug me too much. And so let's say, that's the now the big question mark in my head is the sand work.
The
Yeah.
wooden objects.
Which was like,
That's the cool thing about Mondioring, because you have these puzzles and you can either go with what everybody's doing, or you can be like, well, can I do it in some different approach?
And also like I for me, it's not just do it, and never been just do it in any of the discipline or sports. Is that I need to understand why the dog is doing this, what is going through the dog's mind. You know, that's more interesting to me, to understand why is the dog doing certain things,
Right.
versus to just like have the dog do it. That's why I never been satisfied with certain style of training, because I'm like, I don't want you to follow blindly something that, you know, like a ball or something. It just doesn't make sense to me. I want you to work for me. I want you to enjoy it. I want, you know, like, and I want to know that you enjoy it. And that's so let's say, like, you know, like we had the conversation with the woods, right? I mean, you asking me always the question, and I'm like, man, like, damn it. You know, it's just like,
And the question, by the way, was always like, okay, well, we're at that stage of the training. What is your next stage?
yeah, and here I am.
Which is always the interesting part.
That's super
right?
interesting, and it's just my brain is just like, whoa.
It triggers some thinking.
Oh yeah, it triggers a lot of thinking, you know.
I know there will be some women and some young girls that listen, that look up and dream to get there. What kind of advices you will give them?
And you're gonna ask me that question.
Of course, it is but it is an important question, because you know, people, you know, when you don't know, and then you can get stuck somewhere, or you can start to change too much. I mean, there is so many ways to screw things up or get disappointed. It's just not an easy route. Like, if you're to motivate and excite people that want to really excel, what would be some advice that you would give? Like, you can think even trainers that would come and look for help with certain things or whatever it helps you think of, but put yourself being you
Yeah.
way back.
Yeah.
And you had that figure that actually could say, hey, Natalia, listen to me. Like if you have this opportunity to somebody that is just kind of have the potential, but there is so much out there.
I mean, think about, why are you doing this? Are you doing it for the trophies and to show off yourself, or are you doing it for the dog?
Can it be both without sacrificing the other?
Well, you have to always have the dog in mind. And I know, like, I see all this crazy dog first, sport second, but do you really mean it? Right. Do you really would stop when you feel that training isn't going well and I want my dog well-being be first? I don't care about this. I'm going to move on. I'm gonna whatever, like I'm not gonna, if at any time the well-being of my dog would be in danger, it's not happening. I'm retreating. You're not gonna see me. I will never go that far.
But how can somebody, especially a woman, that doesn't quite understand but have the desire and the talent, have even the courage to kind of say, well, this is not going well, or can we do something else?
Well, you have to make your choices. You have to make a choice. I mean, like, bottom line, guess what? I mean, you're gonna take that dog home and something's gonna be broken in your relationship, in your daily living, and just it's not gonna and don't you gonna not gonna feel like something inside that you failed? Like, that's what I was saying, like I am here to protect my dogs. I am here to be there for them to speak, because they cannot, but I am the one that it's their advocate. So,
but would you say they have to like find people that they trust a little bit, that they can take them in waters that they are not familiar and that may look uncomfortable and scary, but still have some trust? Or because this is where it gets very sketchy for people,
Yes, you have
sometimes
to
people are
have to trust that person that like things gonna be all right. Like, for sure, you cannot just go to random person and just that person's gonna do some weird things and you're just gonna be a bystander and pretend nothing is happening. It's just like, it cannot, like, it's just, so you have to build some relationship with that person.
That kind of, because it's an interesting one and always very difficult one, giving up on a dog too soon because you're seeing, or you're not seeing the potential, but you're just very prematurely making these judgments, versus getting stuck with a dog that you shouldn't have these expectations, versus the person that has a nice dog and trains, but always looks forward to make 100 points, and only then they show.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't given up on a dog since I know you.
Yeah.
Not one time.
Right.
And there are trainers that would give a dog, let's say, 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
And
all the time.
Then there is the next one and the next one. And there is this chase of thinking that I don't have the right dog yet. Tell me about that stuff.
Yeah, that's that it's my dog. We make an agreement from the beginning. You're my dog. So there's no perfect dogs. There's no perfect dog. There's always
somebody that has a 7-month-old dog and they're training and they're hitting
Oh my gosh.
a
Yeah.
wall here and there.
Yeah, that's a normal process. I mean,
Right.
you hit the wall for a reason, like to hit the like. Actually, I mean, we keep saying this, but you know, like it's are those dogs that when you hit the wall, when the things are not going the way you want them to go, that means that there's something you have to do to grow, to overcome it, to have better skills, to better understanding. It's just like it's actually should teach you something to become a better person, to become a better trainer for that dog, to get the best out of that dog and not just wash it out because you have this crazy expectations of this and that. It doesn't exist in a normal world. Like nothing that comes easy, it's actually something you can enjoy.
It's not interesting
It's
anymore.
not interesting no more. That's why, like, you know, like I feel like that's why with Glinda, like, I had such a struggle with her. Like everything so far, I feel like it came too easy to me. You know, like it's just like it went too fast, too easy, and I'm like, all right, like that's just not the. And then she came and she gave me, in my world, she gave me a lot of trouble to, you know, it's just different type of dog, you know, and I had to really grow as a person and a trainer. But always I'm very thankful for these dogs because, you know, I believe that one day the stars will align and, you know, things will work out the way I want.
What are the goals? What are the dreams coming up 2026 and on for you as a trainer,
Yeah.
as a person, and your dogs? That's a deep one.
Yeah, so that the star will align finally.
It's important.
From all the yes, from all the sides, everything just gonna come together. Because we're scratching it. And but you know, that's the thing, like that's we're scratching it, but I know we're capable. So now I just let it we're gonna do our thing.
How do you deal with the disappointments, and how people should take the difficult times when the hopes just crumble
Yeah.
that day?
Yeah. Well,
'Cause
just
it's
the
a big
latest
part of the sport,
competition,
right?
yeah. Just the latest World Championships, you know, when we are doing protection and everything goes well. The whole first part, it's beautiful. And then we have this big mistakes. Then, well, it's at times it's very unfortunate, it's disappointing that it just went the way it went, but then if this was before, I would made it a big deal. I would go into my emotional, you know, like a lot of just things that I don't even need. And then I had you to just like put it straight in front of me, like how it was and what happened from the tactical part of the whole thing, you know, and I can see it right now and I'm like, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I wish that next time all these things that, you know, I didn't know how to handle that better, then from the other side of the, you know, being on the field, helpers and whatever, like, and this is gonna work out. Like, I believe that just everything has to align, and I have this hope. I still have this hope, you know, that one day everything comes together, and you know, because all the things that happened, it's not the training mistake. It's not a dog not capable or something. It's all there. For me, it just has to happen, that one competition. Like it's everything is there. There is nothing for me, like, and I may sound like very, but I know, like I would never say that this way because I'm, as I said, like I'm very critical about my performances, and you know that, how I analyze, and you know how deep I can go into things.
I know.
And to say that for me, it's like I know it's there. It just has to happen.
You know what is really interesting? I just, as you're talking, I'm thinking about it, and I don't even, I need to actually think to articulate myself, but let me just go off on it and see what happens. But there is this, I mean, it's different dynamics, and it's very interesting. Once, like where I am, like I have checked the boxes. I have won what I had to win, you know? And it's different. Not that I don't have the motivation, and not that I don't want, of course I want to win again. But at the same time, I've checked the boxes. I've proven not to I don't care about anybody. Well, I do, that's a lie. But I've proven it to myself that I can. And you know, and that's, what I'm doing, I'm looking at from a different angle, that somebody like you and many like you that are right there but are not making it yet. And there is a chance that you may not. You may be 3 times vice world champion, which is extremely admirable, but you're not the world champion. And where as you were talking, I was just somehow out of nowhere thinking about Knut Fuchs. He's checked all the boxes, and he is, you know, like in the last few years, like sometimes I'm like, man, what are you doing? Kind of thinking to myself. But now I'm like,
I think
it's amazing. It's like he gives everybody this very cool motivation and enjoyment about what we do. And okay, if you win, absolutely amazing and hats off. But if you don't, enjoy what you do, because we are in this thing, you know. But again, I think it's different when you've already checked the boxes versus when you're chasing it. And when you're chasing it, it can become so disrupting and really affect somebody's life in a very bad way, actually, and go like really
I agree.
Go bad, you know?
I totally agree.
And there is, I guess, some way that people, like I know so many people that train extremely hard and religiously and not necessarily doing the wrong things, doing the right things, but as we talked about, the stars don't align yet. And what do you do then? And who you are in that position? And it's
it was
a hard one.
Very, me setting for myself, setting a bar so high from the beginning. I wasn't like, oh, I just want to do it for fun. I was just like, no, I'm gonna go world championships. I'm gonna be a world. This was my words.
Because you have to, on the one hand, if you don't think about, if you never say, I'm gonna be a world championship, I can put money that you're not gonna be a world champion, because you just are going, I mean, there is something that you have to, I don't know, that's kind of too new agey kind of thing, but you have to tell the universe that that's where you're going in some ways,
that's,
you know, otherwise it cannot happen.
That's what I was going always, right? that in my mind.
But at the same time, where I was going with this is, anybody can do everything right. And it doesn't mean because you have done that, because you've paid your dues, so to speak,
right?
You are, okay, here, you worked hard. It doesn't work that way. And that's what makes it special.
It doesn't come that easy, you know. It's well, then I had my checkpoints, you know.
Because like,
I had a big
even
dreams.
Looking at this, you know, I mean, these are multiple world championship, talking about Mia and me and
Yeah.
Mario, you know, and then no matter what you say, and it doesn't matter that we've won bunch of times, I bet you that all three of us, if you ask, you're still gonna say the stars had to line up. It had to, considering all
You
the
see,
little
I'm,
things,
I'm
right?
just starting to have this thought this year. You know, it's just like it really has to line up. Something just is beyond my, I'm like, and every competition and every performance, it's a lesson too for me. Just like the last one was I wish I knew that in the
But you
protection.
gotta dream, you gotta train, and you gotta show up.
Oh, that's for sure. And you're gonna be disappointed, and you're gonna get checked, and you're gonna get humbled. And if you really want to, you're gonna keep going. You're gonna keep going, and you're gonna, just like me, like I'm like, okay, like I'm like, there's something I'm missing. Like clearly I'm missing something. And hearing you, like, it was a while ago, like when you said you had the same dream, you know, right? That's what's gonna happen. But then you started questioning, like, what if not? When I heard you saying this, I'm like, okay.
You cannot question it for too long, because then it takes
Right,
you
right.
down.
But I'm like, okay, I'm like, right, no. But, you know, just like, oh, there is such a question I can ask myself. Speaking of, you know, just like, I can actually like think for a second about this. What if not gonna happen,
Yes.
right? Like I've never
But it's
had this.
important.
It was like this year, beginning of the end of last year. Just like I heard it, and I'm like, oh, so I can actually have a thought like this. Even the best people in the world have this question mark in it. You know, it's just like,
Right.
you
And
know.
that's kind of where I was going with how Knut Fuchs is right now for the whole IGP community. It's like, yeah, go for it. But you can be fifth, you can be 25th, or you can be a world championship. Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy
It's
the
your
ride, and really like it matters who are you training with and who is around, and like for me, like there's a lot of things I've heard from you, not even training, but just like being that person that it's like going through this, and like just that question about the what if not gonna happen, you know. I'm like, I didn't know that question exists. In my world, that question did not exist, you know.
which is
So,
cool, because
and
I
I'm like,
didn't have that
and
question.
you know, I tell you something, like this took a lot of pressure off my back. And I'm like, okay, now I'm like, I'm just so hard on myself. Like, I'm just like, okay, like I really have to like, you know, it should be enjoyable. It should. So this year, like the whole competition that I've done, I mean, the FMBB, then we have the nationals, then we have another world championships, all the things like I mean, I get butterflies, I get stress, you know, that's normal, you know, like it's, you know, it's normal competition time. But my mentality and how I think about the, you know, I don't have that, it took a lot of pressure, unnecessary pressure off my shoulders that, you know, it's just, let's show what you got, and you got good things going on, you know, and I'm very confident. It took a pressure, brought a lot of confidence into my showing and performances. You know, it was a very, you know, those moments where you're like a very turning point into your career, when just randomly here, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually exactly, thank you. You know. Yes. Oh.
I think that should be a wrap. I think we went all over the place. I got some takeaways from the conversation.
Oh,
It was
yeah?
cool. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So thank you
Okay.
for that one. And
Maybe a part 2 later, you know, at some point.
oh, we have it.
Yeah.
It's a given.
Yes. Yes.
All right, guys. Hope you like this. Share, like, comment. We will respond. Take care.